See, I know to fight from the merge because that's what you do in DCS.
Growling Sidewinder and its consequences have been a disaster for the WarThunder community. That is the working title of this episode of Beer Thunder. I am Squish, and we are back at it again. And this is a working title that I've had on the back burner for a long time. I've done like a couple different commentaries on it, and as soon as I make it, I kind of go back and like, oh, that wasn't good commentary, or I go back and then someone releases some kind of profoundly stupid take that I almost feel I have to weigh in on because it's just one of those things. Growling Sidewinder is this YouTuber. He exists, and he makes these dogfighting videos in DCS, and they're whatever. They're fine. They're produced good. As a bit of like History Channel dogfights nostalgia, they're fine. They're entertaining, and really, the problem isn't with Growling Sidewinder specifically, but it's like with the whole branch of dogfighting, YouTube entertainment, and information consumption that leads to a lot of people focusing on the wrong things, a lot of people coming to wrong conclusions, and people just over consuming information into the Dunning-Kruger effect of where, because everyone understands the lingo, because everyone watched a video about 1 circles and 2 circles and the my wife left me circle, you end up with a lot of people that are quote-unquote subject matter experts that don't actually know what they're talking about. And I think a pretty good example that like literally just came out is Arrow Turtle, the guy that's in the background. This is kind of like B-roll dueling footage for me at this point. He released a video, and in the video, one of the comments that he makes is he's really emphatic that the Su-27 can outrate and can outturn the Gripen, and that's not the case at all. And Arrow Turtle is our WarThunder equivalent. This is Growling Sidewinder at home. In WarThunder on the current flight models, the Gripen just kind of runs circles around everything that's short of like an F-16A. It's not really competitive, and you can just kind of see it in the footage. Now, in his defense, he claims that he wasn't actually trying, and he just wanted to test missile resistance and flares or whatever. But at the same time, he didn't really ask me to start shooting missiles in the head-on and in the merge until like the 5th or 6th loss in a row. So my personal opinion, I think he was trying when he found out that I wasn't the normal viewer on his channel or in his Discord. Maybe the point of the video probably changed a little bit, and in the future he's going to make a video on jamming the Wes, which is just a DCS term for being close enough that people can't shoot missiles at you, and that is the literal technical definition. And kind of like what I'm doing here, literally to him, is I'm jamming the Wes, and I will literally never say jamming the Wes or any of those terms on my channel, like unironically, because it's pointless. I want people to focus on things that matter, and coming away from a YouTube channel and trying to replace the consumption of YouTube information by third-hand sources at this point, it doesn't replace just going out and actually fucking doing things. And I think this kind of information consumption, information overload, is very similar to one of my other hobbies, which is long-range shooting. Back in the good old days, there was this YouTube channel called Tiberosus Rex, and the guy basically just read from the Army Sniper Manual for 14 hours, and people would come away from that thinking they invested like hundreds of hours into like things that equated to training, when in reality, like, the best way to get good at shooting gun at long distance is like, yes, do the research, but also just like you need to go out and practice and get it from like get information about techniques from reliable sources. And some random dude on YouTube is maybe a reliable source, but without like additional context, if you get too much information and you get too confident about it, and when it comes time to put up or shut up, you're just not able to do that. And I think in WarThunder, I think one of the most obvious like ones I've seen in the past was like when Scottish Koala made this video. He made a Growling Sidewinder-esque video of the F-100 versus the MiG-19, and he repeated some kind of what was basically bullshit. He claimed that the MiG-19 was a 2-circle fighter and that the F-100 was a 1-circle fighter, and that these differences materially mattered in War Thunder, and that the F-100 could force the one circle onto the MiG-19, and then it could win. That it was a 50-50 fight, even chances, and, well, let's just kind of see how it went.
Gotta pull this in. Ah, shit, I'm dead. Yep, there we go. Nice. Nice, very well done. Yeah, there we go. Nah. That was bad time. That was really bad. To clear the G's. Yeah. Ah, fuck. Damn. Oh shit, he got my engine. Nah, he's just using guns. That was a little bit aggressive on the rudder there. I needed to pull the rudder to get the nose on in time. There we go. There's a gun kill. Finally a win.
Give it up for the dueling expert, the Scottish Koala. I don't think it's a coincidence that his channel focus shifted from War Thunder towards milking views out of people that want to learn about tank stuff. And I think that his accuracy about tanks is probably maybe about the same as his accuracy about War Thunder. It seems that as long as you have a good presentation style, as long as you say things very confidently, it really doesn't matter if the footage in the background matches up to it. You can just kind of say whatever you want, and as long as you build a community, a lot of people will believe it, and they'll take whatever you say at just kind of face value. And I think that this isn't just like a Growling Sidewinder thing. This is just kind of a YouTube personality in general thing. Like, people want to be a part of a community. People want to be a part of an in-crowd. And oftentimes, as this relates to YouTube, as long as you know the lingo, as long as you can hate on all the right people, as long as you double down on the right things, you'll be a part of a community. I think kind of like the most obvious example of this, of like a YouTuber I enjoy, is Laserpig. Like, I enjoy the videos, they're entertaining. They do bring up like good points, they do bring up new points, but when I watch Laserpig videos, I don't take everything at face value. I don't necessarily believe that the guy's historical credentials, like his conclusions themselves, they're not indefensible all of the time, but I think in a lot of ways the conclusion itself is a lot more clear-cut for him, because like it's more entertaining. It forms a better narrative. It's a lot easier to develop an hour-long script and speak into a microphone about something you passionately believe, rather than a minor adjustment in the historical narrative that nobody's going to watch, nobody's going to care. And it gets a conversation going, but at the same time, you have to walk like a really fine line between what's effective and what isn't. And also, once a fandom takes off, it's really hard to keep that community in check, especially with a personality type / like character setup like Laserpig. Like, the guy is outspoken, and it means that the people that are going to be attracted to his community are going to be outspoken. I myself am rather outspoken. I will 100% just straight up tell you, 99% of War Thunder content is actively misinforming you, because the people that make it are not as good at the game as they think that they are. And that 75% of the content out there is all just like 5 people all cribbing off of each other doing the exact same thing. It means you end up with 16 different channels that are just deafened but with a different accent. And there's a certain point where the need to constantly satisfy the YouTube algorithm by putting out content over and over again means that a lot of this stuff is very formulaic. Like, new plane comes out, we make review about the plane within the first week, because that's when the viewership is hot. The sales come around, we got to make a sales guide, and all of these videos are almost identical. You could replace one with the other and you would learn basically the exact same thing. And it means that in the rush to put out all of this content, that really the only determining accuracy of the content is who is the person originally cribbing from. And if you are cribbing from a different flight simulator, i.e. DCS, or from someone like Growling Sidewinder, it means that when it is applied to War Thunder, a lot of those conclusions are not going to be accurate to this game. And that's even more true in the context of air realistic battles or air arcade battles, where the physics and the rule set is almost entirely removed from what is even capable in DCS. And what this results in is a lot of people have consumed this content, they've informed themselves into the point that they get very dogmatic about it, and they're not really able to advance beyond that. And that's going to be the end of the video. Growling Sidewinder and its consequences have been a disaster for the WarThunder community.